weather stinks. Tried to take a little shortcut there. Shortcut was blocked off. Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Caitlin, good morning. Darren, what's up, man? Good morning, how are you? Wanted to hop on here and share something I learned or was reminded of, and it's a book that I'm reading now by an author called John Maxwell, who writes a lot and does a lot of teachings and coachings about leadership. And there was actually 10 things or 10 keys that he talks about with leadership. But I want to get on here and talk about all 10. I wrote all 10 down, but for me, I'm going to focus on 3 of those right now and sort of do an evaluation of myself, see how good I'm doing at these 3, maybe make some personal notes about things I can do better with these 3. And I think these 3 are very important and a big deal. Good morning, Chris, Marsha, Howie, what's up, man? Rose, good morning. And they're simple but difficult, meaning that the concepts of these 3 keys of leadership that I'm talking about today are not groundbreaking. They're not mind-blowing concepts, but they are difficult, right? It's one of those things that are easier said than done. And we'll just hop right into it. The first one is to trade affirmations for accomplishments. Trade affirmations for accomplishments. So as a leader, oftentimes, we have worked our way up to a leadership position. And frankly, affirmations are something that as a human, in the work environment and in a personal environment, in any relationship, affirmations make us feel good. When someone congratulates us or tells us that we did a good job, it makes us feel good, and it should. And it's one of the things as a leader I think we don't hand out enough as affirmations, but we actually get almost like an addiction to them. Like we work towards affirmations. And I think the key to this leadership principle is that you, at some point, particularly once you've been in a position of leadership, need to stop seeking affirmation and start seeking concrete accomplishments, something that can be measured, something that shows real progress. And oftentimes for me, in my leadership style, I find those accomplishments in not necessarily results, right? So a lot of times, and this is where it gets tricky, affirmations may be looked at oftentimes from us as accomplishments, right? Like I was the best I was the best salesperson in the group of 15 of us. But being the best or getting that affirmation, that reward, that bonus, the congratulations from your peers and your leadership doesn't necessarily show a real accomplishment. There needs to be something acknowledged for the fact that you were the best, right? But an accomplishment, like in the sales world particularly, we always had this saying that you go from hero to zero. And therein lies the lesson, I think, in this point for me, is that, our business runs on, sales goals, acquisitions goals, profit goals. We track a lot of behaviors, and then those behaviors are intended to lead to some type of financial impact. But it's possible for us to have success, get affirmations, have financial gain, but never have a true accomplishment, right? And an accomplishment for us would mean, for me, the development of people, the improvement of our company culture, growth, not necessarily by numbers, but growth by our professional and social maturity. How do we interact with our clients? Have we gotten better? Is our online presence more favorable? Are we getting more positive feedback from the clients that we work for? That for me is growth, and that's where I see real accomplishments. So lesson one, and I think one of the keys for us to focus on as leaders, to trade affirmations. You'll have to put some thought into this. Again, this is simple but not easy, and I'm talking to myself as much as I am anybody else. And affirmations are almost addictive in a sense that we get used to the attention that comes along with a portion of our behavior, and then we work towards those affirmations and we never really accomplish anything. So trade affirmations for accomplishments. You got to look inside and make a decision for yourself about what that means in your position, in your company, or your team, and your leadership opportunities. But trade affirmations and trade them in for real accomplishments. Trade security for significance. And I think this really goes hand in hand. Philip, thanks for sharing. I can't see it. Corey Boatwright, what's up, my brother? Philip, how you doing? Trade security for significance. And this gets deep, or at least it does for me. And I think it goes back to a lot of the affirmations. We get this security in doing things that we know will be recognized for, that we'll gain affirmations for, and that oftentimes feels at home for us. We get good at a particular thing, and we have a tendency to, and it's what separates us from virtually every other species, is our ability to be able to make progress, right? We don't keep doing the same thing, or we shouldn't doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. There's a certain evolution that comes along with us that we should be proud of. It gives us a real opportunity to develop as people. As we get older, we should, develop a different, relationship maturity, where our ability to be able to communicate with our spouse or our loved ones or our kids, professionally in our relationships, we should constantly, spit it out, Eric, constantly be developing and evolving in our ability to be able to maintain better relationships in our personal lives. So the security that comes along with doing the same thing over and over again inhibits our ability to be able to have a real impact of significance. And significance for us oftentimes mean going outside. If you look at security and significance, they're not necessarily opposites. But if we don't make a real attempt to have an impact of significance, it's because oftentimes that we're stuck in a place of security, which really just means you have to push yourself outside of your comfort zone. And any book that you read or anything that you look at talks a lot about real growth is made outside of, if you've ever seen the chart, they show this really small circle in the center, and that shows security. And then outside of that, it shows a little bit of growth. And then way out here, way outside of your comfort zone is where you see real growth. So trade security, get out of your comfort zone, and in exchange, what you'll find is significance. And I think it's a very simple yet super, super insightful leadership quality, right? And it's something that we constantly have to do. Bottom line is push yourself out of your comfort zone, push yourself to do more, do better, and raise the ceiling for yourself. And what you'll do, and I think the significance, particularly in my business, what happens is as I raise my ceiling, I create or get out of the way or create a path for my people to develop and take on more responsibility and for them to grow. And oftentimes as leaders, we create a ceiling for our people. If we find this comfort in security and we keep doing the same things and we've reached a plateau, we then, even if we're developing our people but not developing ourselves, or if we're lucky enough to have the people that develop on their own, eventually they're up to our ceiling. And the last thing you want to do is create a ceiling for your people because you have chosen not to develop yourself and move out of security and into significance. So trade in security in exchange for significance. And then this one is extremely difficult. It's actually something that I'm going through right now, and I'm proud that collectively our company has made this decision, but I'm also a little fearful. I hope that I'm making the right decision. We've weighed all the pros and cons, very little cons, a ton of pros. And we are actually going to, over the next 60 days, hire and add up to 4 new people to our team. So forget about what's going on in the economy. Adding 4 people to a team of 30, is almost a 10% increase in staff. And along with that comes responsibility. Along with that comes, the obligation to fulfill those salaries. And it puts additional pressure on myself as a leader and our leadership team, and the remainder of, our producers and contractors and project managers and accountants and all of that stuff, to then capitalize on that opportunity. Now, the reality is that we've grown to a point to where probably 50% of those new people that we're hiring or to get caught up, to take some of the responsibility off of, potentially over-leveraged team members that we have now, to allow them to be able to work at a better pace, which will increase the quality of their work. So we have traded in financial gain. It would be easy for me to continue to put those. Mike, I'll be right there, brother. How many do you need?
What's that?
Are you here? You getting some masks?
Oh, yeah. I'm picking checkups here.
Okay. So the important part is to trade in financial gain for future potential. And oftentimes what that means is just simply making an investment that might not show a return for a long period of time. It could be 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, depending on the size of the investment and then how long it takes for you to capitalize on that return. But I wanted to share those 3 keys of leadership with you. Again, number 1, affirmations. Trade in affirmations for accomplishments. Stop chasing recognition and have real accomplishments in their place. 2, trade security for significance. Get out of your comfort zone. Start to have a real impact. 3, trade financial gain for future potential. Sometimes you're going to have to make a sacrifice in the short term for long-term gain. It's real leadership. Do it. See you.